You know, there's something most people don't talk about when it comes to aging. Everyone worries about their heart, their memory, or their eyesight, but they forget about their legs. And let me tell you, that's a mistake. Because once your legs go, your independence follows. If you've ever seen someone who used to be full of life suddenly struggle to stand up, to walk across the room, or to climb a simple flight of stairs, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, like a thief in the night. And by the time most people realize what's happening, their strength is already slipping away. But here's the good news. This doesn't have to happen to you. Because most of the time, it's not just aging that weakens your legs. It's habits. Bad habits that slowly chip away at your strength. Habits that seem harmless today, but cost you dearly in the years to come. And if you can stop them now, you'll be doing your future self a favor. You'll keep your legs strong, your steps steady, and your independence intact. So today, we're going to talk about 10 bad habits that are secretly weakening your legs. And if you're serious about staying strong, you'll want to pay close attention. The first habit? Sitting too much. I know, you've probably heard this before, but let me tell you something. Most people still don't take it seriously. Sitting is one of the worst things you can do for your legs. The longer you sit, the weaker your muscles get. And the weaker your muscles get, the harder it becomes to move when you actually need to. Think about it. Have you ever been sitting for a long time and when you try to stand up, your legs feel stiff? A little wobbly? That's a warning sign. Your body is telling you, hey, you're not using me enough. And the problem is, if you keep ignoring that signal, your legs won't just feel weak for a few seconds. They'll stay weak. Now, I'm not saying you should never sit down. Of course, you should rest when you need to. But sitting for hours and hours every day without moving, that's what steals your strength. Your muscles need movement to stay strong. So if you're spending too much time on the couch, in front of the TV, or sitting at the table for hours, it's time to break the habit. And listen, you don't have to do anything extreme. You don't have to run marathons or hit the gym for hours. Just get up and move, walk around the house, stretch your legs, do a few simple exercises. It doesn't take much, but it makes all the difference. Now that brings me to the second bad habit, neglecting balance and flexibility. Most people don't realize how important balance is until they start losing it. And by then, it's already a problem. See, your legs don't just need strength. They need control. They need flexibility. They need to work together to keep you steady on your feet. Have you ever tripped over something that wasn't even there? Or felt unsteady when you turned too quickly? That's your balance slipping. And if you don't work on it, it only gets worse. Stretching, simple balance exercises, even just standing on one leg for a few seconds, these little things keep your legs sharp. They keep your movements smooth, and they help prevent the kind of falls that change lives in an instant. Because let's be real, a bad fall is one of the worst things that can happen as you get older. It's not just about a few bruises. It can mean broken bones, a long recovery, or even never walking the same way again. And all because of something that could have been prevented. So don't wait until balance becomes a problem. Work on it now. It's one of the simplest things you can do, and it pays off more than you can imagine. And that brings me to the third bad habit, ignoring your circulation. See, your legs don't just need movement and strength. They need blood flow. When your circulation is poor, your legs don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need to stay strong. They start to feel heavy, sluggish, and weak. You know that feeling when your legs feel like lead? Like they just don't want to move? That's often a circulation issue. And one of the biggest culprits? Sitting or standing for too long without moving. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how your legs swell up after sitting for a long time? That's because your circulation is slowing down. The blood isn't moving the way it should. And over time, that lack of blood flow leads to weaker muscles, aching joints, and even serious issues like blood clots. The fix? Move more. Even if you have to sit for long periods, make sure you move your legs, wiggle your toes, stretch your ankles. Stand up and shake out your legs whenever you can. These small actions keep your blood flowing and prevent serious problems down the road. Now we've covered 3 bad habits so far: sitting too much, neglecting balance, and ignoring circulation. And already you can see how these little things can make a big difference over time. But we're just getting started. Because the truth is, there are 10 habits that could be putting your legs at risk. You know, when people think about keeping their legs strong, they often focus on exercise. And sure, exercise matters. But what many don't realize is that what you put on your plate matters just as much. And that brings us to the 4th bad habit: poor nutrition. Your legs are made of muscles, bones, and joints that need the right fuel to stay strong. But too often, people don't give their bodies what they need. They skip meals, rely on processed foods, or don't get enough of the nutrients that keep their legs in good shape. And let me tell you, your body notices. Calcium and vitamin D, they're not just for kids. Your bones need them just as much now as they ever did. Without them, your bones become fragile. And fragile bones mean a higher risk of fractures, especially in your legs and hips. And protein? That's what keeps your muscles from wasting away. You see, as you get older, your muscles naturally start to lose mass. It's a slow process, but it happens. And without enough protein, that process speeds up. Your muscles shrink, your legs weaken, and suddenly, simple tasks become difficult. So if your meals are lacking protein, like lean meats, eggs, beans, or dairy, you're making it harder for your legs to stay strong. It's not just about eating enough, it's about eating right. And that's where many people go wrong. They don't realize that skipping meals or relying on unhealthy snacks is actually robbing their legs of the strength they need. And let's not forget hydration. Water keeps your muscles flexible and your joints lubricated. But many people don't drink enough water, especially as they get older. They think, I'm not thirsty, so I must be fine. But by the time you feel thirsty, your body is already dehydrated. And dehydrated muscles are more prone to cramps, stiffness, and weakness. So, do yourself a favor. Pay attention to what you eat and drink. It's not just about staying healthy, it's about staying strong. Now, the 5th bad habit is one that often goes unnoticed: poor posture. You might be thinking, what does my posture have to do with my legs? Well, more than you might think. When you slouch or stand improperly, your body isn't aligned the way it should be. And guess what happens? Your muscles, including those in your legs, have to work harder to keep you balanced. Over time, that strain takes a toll. It leads to muscle fatigue, joint pain, and, you guessed it, weak legs. Think about how you sit. Are your feet flat on the ground? Or are you crossing your legs and slumping forward? How about when you stand? Are you putting most of your weight on one leg? These little habits might seem harmless, but they add up. Good posture isn't just about looking confident. It's about protecting your muscles and joints from unnecessary strain. Stand tall, keep your shoulders back, and distribute your weight evenly between both legs. It might feel awkward at first, but trust me, your legs will thank you. And speaking of how you carry yourself, let's talk about the 6th bad habit: wearing the wrong footwear. This one surprises a lot of people. But the shoes you wear can have a huge impact on your legs. Shoes that don't fit properly, don't provide enough support, or force your feet into unnatural positions put a strain on your entire lower body. High heels, for example, might look nice, but they throw your balance off completely. And shoes with no support? They make every step harder on your legs and joints. Over time, this strain weakens your muscles and makes walking more difficult than it needs to be. Your feet are the foundation of every step you take. So if your shoes aren't comfortable and supportive, your legs are going to suffer. Find shoes that fit well, provide good arch support, and cushion your feet. It might seem like a small change, but it makes a world of difference. Now let's move on to something most people never consider: the 7th bad habit: shallow breathing. You might be wondering, what does breathing have to do with my legs? Well, here's the thing. Your muscles need oxygen to function properly. And when you don't breathe deeply, your muscles don't get the oxygen they need. Have you ever felt short of breath after climbing stairs? That's not just about your, lungs. It's also about your muscles not getting enough oxygen. And over time, shallow breathing can weaken your muscles, including those in your legs. Take a moment right now to notice your breathing. Is it shallow? Are you breathing from your chest or from your belly? Deep, controlled breaths that fill your lungs and engage your diaphragm help deliver oxygen to your muscles. And when your muscles get enough oxygen, they stay stronger and recover faster. So, remember to breathe deeply. It's one of the simplest things you can do to support your leg strength and your overall well-being. Now, we've covered 7 bad habits so far: sitting too much, neglecting balance, ignoring circulation, poor nutrition, bad posture, improper footwear, and shallow breathing. And as you can see, keeping your legs strong isn't just about exercise, it's about your everyday habits. But we're not done yet. We'll dive into 3 more habits that might be weakening your legs without you even realizing it. And trust me, these last 3 are just as important as the ones we've already covered. Now, if you've made it this far, you already know that keeping your legs strong isn't just about exercise. It's about those everyday habits that either build your strength or slowly wear it down. We've covered 7 habits so far, but there are still 3 more that can have a serious impact on your legs if you're not careful. Let's start with the 8th bad habit: skipping leg exercises. Now, I know exercise isn't everyone's favorite word, but here's the truth. Your legs need regular movement to stay strong. And no, walking to the fridge or around the house isn't always enough. If you're not giving your legs specific exercises to keep them strong, you're letting them fade away. You see, as you get older, your muscle mass naturally decreases. It's called sarcopenia, and it happens to everyone. But here's the good news. You can slow it down, even reverse it. And the best way to do that is with regular leg exercises. I'm not talking about anything extreme. You don't need to lift heavy weights or run miles every day. Simple exercises like leg raises, squats, and even walking uphill can make a huge difference. But the key is consistency. It's like maintaining a car. If you don't drive it regularly, the battery dies, the tires lose air, and the engine starts to wear out. Your legs are the same. If you don't use them, you lose them. It's that simple. And let me tell you something. Starting is often the hardest part. But once you get into the habit, it becomes easier. Your legs start to feel stronger, your movements feel smoother, and those everyday tasks that used to feel tiring start to feel effortless. So, if you've been avoiding leg exercises, now's the time to change that. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Now, the 9th bad habit is one that often goes unnoticed: poor sleep. You might be thinking, what does sleep have to do with my legs? Well, more than you might realize. When you sleep, your body goes into repair mode. Your muscles recover from the day's activities, your joints get a break, and your body gets ready for the next day. But if you're not getting enough quality sleep, your body doesn't get the time it needs to heal and strengthen. Think about it. Have you ever felt more sluggish or weak after a bad night's sleep? That's because your muscles didn't get the recovery they needed. Over time, poor sleep leads to muscle fatigue, slower reflexes, and yes, weaker legs. And it's not just about how many hours you sleep. It's about the quality of your sleep. Tossing and turning all night doesn't give your body the rest it needs. And unfortunately, as we get older, good sleep becomes harder to come by. So what can you do? Start by creating a bedtime routine. Go to bed at the same time every night. Avoid caffeine and heavy meals before bed. And try to keep your bedroom dark and quiet. These simple changes can improve your sleep quality more than you might think. And if you're still struggling, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. Good sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, especially when it comes to keeping your legs strong and healthy. Now, the 10th and final bad habit is one that almost everyone is guilty of at some point: Ignoring pain. Let me tell you something. Pain is your body's way of talking to you. It's not something to be ignored or pushed through. If you're feeling pain in your legs, whether it's a dull ache, sharp pain, or even just discomfort, it's a sign that something's not right. But too many people ignore these signals. They think, oh, it's just part of getting older, or it'll go away on its own. And sometimes it does. But other times, ignoring that pain leads to bigger problems down the road. A small muscle strain can turn into a serious injury if you don't give it time to heal. Joint pain can lead to long-term damage if left untreated. And circulation issues can become dangerous if ignored. So, don't brush off leg pain. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Rest when you need to, see a doctor when something doesn't feel right, and take care of your legs. Because once your legs go, everything else becomes harder. We've now covered all 10 bad habits that can weaken your legs. Sitting too much, neglecting balance, ignoring circulation, poor nutrition, bad posture, improper footwear, shallow breathing, skipping leg exercises, poor sleep, and ignoring pain. Before me move to the conclusion, we should talk about how to build new habits that keep your legs strong for years to come. Because avoiding bad habits is important, but building good ones is what truly makes the difference. So, we've talked about the 10 bad habits that can weaken your legs over time. And if you've made it this far, I know you care about keeping your legs strong and your independence intact. But knowing what not to do is only half the battle. Now, let's talk about what you can do to build habits that keep your legs strong, steady, and healthy for years to come. First things first, movement. If there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this: move every day. Your legs are built for movement, and the more you move, the stronger they stay. You don't need to do anything complicated. Start with a daily walk, even if it's just around your house. Stretch your legs when you wake up and before you go to bed. If you're sitting for a long time, set a timer to remind yourself to stand up and move around every hour. And remember, small movements matter. Flex your ankles, wiggle your toes, and stretch your calves. These little actions keep your blood flowing, your muscles engaged, and your joints flexible. Now let's talk about strength. Building leg strength doesn't require a gym membership or fancy equipment. Simple exercises like squats, lunges, and leg lifts can do wonders. And if you're not sure where to start, here's a tip. Use a sturdy chair. Sit down and stand up repeatedly to build strength in your thighs. Hold on to the back of the chair for balance while doing leg raises. These basic moves, done consistently, will make a huge difference over time. And let's not forget balance. Good balance is what keeps you steady on your feet and prevents falls. Practice standing on one leg while holding onto a chair for support. Try simple yoga poses that focus on balance and flexibility. And if you feel wobbly at first, don't worry. Balance improves with practice. The more you work on it, the more stable you'll feel. Now, we can't talk about healthy legs without mentioning nutrition. Feed your body what it needs. Make sure you're getting enough protein to maintain muscle mass. Include calcium and vitamin D for strong bones. Stay hydrated to keep your muscles flexible and your joints lubricated. And don't forget about circulation. Foods rich in omega-3s like fish and nuts help keep your blood flowing. And please, wear the right shoes. Your feet support your entire body, and good footwear matters more than most people realize. Choose shoes that fit well, provide support, and are comfortable to walk in. It might mean letting go of those old, worn-out shoes you love, but trust me, it's worth it. Now, about your posture. Stand tall and sit upright. Keep your shoulders back and your weight evenly distributed. When you walk, lift your feet instead of shuffling. Good posture protects your muscles from strain and keeps your movements smooth and effortless. And let's not forget the importance of rest and recovery. Your legs need time to recover after movement. Make sure you're getting enough quality sleep. Establish a bedtime routine, limit screen time before bed, and create a restful environment. Good sleep is when your body repairs itself, so don't skimp on it. And perhaps most importantly, listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. Pain, stiffness, or swelling are your body's way of telling you that something needs attention. Rest when you need to, stretch when you feel tight, and seek medical advice when necessary. You see, building strong legs isn't about making huge changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent choices every day. It's about moving a little more, eating a little better, and paying attention to how your body feels. Because here's the thing, aging is inevitable, but how you age is up to you. Your legs can carry you through life with strength and grace, or they can become a burden that holds you back. The choice is yours. So take care of your legs today, and they'll take care of you tomorrow. Trust me, it's a choice you'll never regret.